fans, what a huge win! A nerve-wracking 1-0 victory over West Ham. VAR controversy, massive pressure, and now Arsenal have one hand on the Premier League title. And yes, I'm not dreaming. This is true stuff. So Arsenal beat West Ham United 1-0 at the London Stadium in what was seen as a huge game on both ends of the table. An 83rd minute goal by Leandro Trossard managed to secure the win. So here at the Arsenal Pulse, we want to dive deep into what happened into that game. I'll give you the analysis, I'll give you my prediction, and I'll give you what I felt from that game. So first, let's look at the goal scored by Leandro Trossard in the 83rd minute. So it was a fantastic opening goal. Chance created by Odegaard, and Trossard managed to squeeze it off the West Ham defenders, and you can see the huge celebrations from the Arsenal fans. It was such a tough game, one of the toughest game of the season, but this was one of the most important wins. Trossard, who has not scored in over 25 games, comes up with one of the most important goal in our history, and even for Tottenham Hotspur. Lovely play from Declan Rice, Odegaard. So that's a goal that I have watched over and over and over again. And this is the reason why this season it looks like we have one hand on the Premier League title. So that game we started really well. We were dominating possession. We were creating a lot of chances. And as you can see, let's take a look at the lineup that started. So Arteta went with the same lineup that started versus Atletico Madrid, and as you all know, you don't change a winning team. So things were going according to plan. The same team that played Calafiori, Gabriel Saliba, White, Raya, midfield of Rice and Luis Kelly, which has been very effective. And then we had Saka on the right, Eze in the 10, and Trossard as the left winger, and then up front we had Gyökeres up front. So same lineup, but the reason why we cannot keep up is because Ben White had to come off with an injury. So the first 20-30 minutes we were dominating West Ham, creating chances. There was a chance by Calafiori that managed to go out for a corner. We had pretty good chances to actually go and take this game by the scruff of the neck and put at least 2 goals in the first half. But then Ben White goes down, and then Arteta was forced to make a change, and he sent Rice to right back position instead of bringing on Mosquera, in which, as we will see later, it proved to be a decisive decision. Now, after Arteta made the mistake, halftime went 0-0, and in the second half he decided to bring on Mosquera in place of Zubimendi. Then Calafiori got injured, and then he had to replace Calafiori with Lewis Kelly at left back. So plenty of changes, but moving Rice to the right back position really killed the midfield, because now we miss that engine, that drive that Declan Rice brings to the midfield. But then Arteta then corrected it by bringing on Zubimendi, and as you can see, there were plenty of changes. Arteta used all the 5 substitutions, bringing on Zubimendi for White. So Zubimendi was replaced again because he was not effective in the game. Mosquera came in for Calafiori at right back position, meaning Lewis Kelly went to play left back. Odegaard came in for Eze, right up. And Havertz came again on for Zubimendi. So Zubimendi was replaced again. And then Madueke came on for Saka. You know, it was a sensible substitution. But all in all, we gave everything for this game and we managed to win. And if you look at the odds for this game, the bookies were having Arsenal as the favorites to win this game with an odd of 1.656. But now, if you look at what happened in this game relating to the Premier League title race, now this is what this means. Arsenal are now 5 points clear of Manchester City, having played a game more and with 2 games remaining. So meaning that now the Arsenal have the destiny of the Premier League in our own hands. And this means that we can, if we win the remaining 2 games, even if Man City win all their remaining 3 games, we shall be crowned champions of England. And that is such a big feat because after 22 years, it is going to be incredibly an incredible achievement. And if you look at the news writers, they're saying that why West Ham's win over while Arsenal's win over West Ham has sealed the trophy for Mikel Arteta's Gunners and doomed Manchester City. So this has been one of the few weeks whereby we have been very, very happy as Arsenal fans. First, it started on Monday. Okay, let's say it started on Saturday, beating Fulham 3-0. Then we then we watched Manchester City drop points at Everton. Two huge points that they dropped, and that's why we are 2 points clear if Man City win again. And then we beat Atletico Madrid 1-0 to go into the Champions League final. And then we capped off this week by a 1-0 win at West Ham, relegation battle West Ham, who are now set to go down if Spurs beat Leeds tonight on Monday. So it was huge drama in that game, and also there was a goal which was disallowed by VAR because they said there was a foul on David Raya. So most people are complaining that Arsenal are the kings of dark arts. Arsenal are the ones who usually play rough, but how come this time they have been given the decision? For me, it was the right decision. Why? Because you cannot put your hands on a keeper. You cannot put your hand on a keeper's hand and pull it down. And that is what Pablo from West did. Yeah. So that was a huge controversy. It took 5 minutes for the referee to intervene and even to cancel that goal. You know, it is a huge decision that will be talked about for generations to come. It is huge because it might have decided the Premier League title, and it might have decided the relegation battle as well. So we have led for plenty of the season in 2025-26, and this time round, we have the destiny in our hands. 2 games to win the Premier League, and what a performance by David Raya. So being top of the league, putting now pressure back to Manchester City. We're going to play Crystal Palace on Wednesday. I shall be reviewing that. And look at the way our season has gone so far. When we got beat at the Etihad 2-1 by Manchester City, most fans were saying now Arsenal have bottled this Premier League title. It will now go to City. City will win all their games. But if you look at the Premier League this season, it has been so difficult. There's no team which has gone on a run of 10, 15 games to win the Premier League. It is scrapping through, and you can see Arsenal, we have won 1-0 in 10 games this season in all competition and 7 in the Premier League. So those 1-0, 1-0, we are struggling to get over the line. Yeah, and because it is our first time in 22 years, it is going to be hard because these players, they have never won a major trophy. Yeah, so the first one was always going to be difficult, and now it is not over until Arsenal beat Burnley and they beat Crystal Palace on the final day of the season. Yeah, so Manchester City shot themselves in the foot by not winning versus Everton. Huge points that they dropped. Yeah, so in the running, these are the fixtures that are remaining for both sides. So Manchester City now, ball is in their court. They are going to play Crystal Palace at home on Wednesday, then FA Cup final versus Chelsea on Saturday, May 16th. Then on Monday, Arsenal are going to be playing Burnley at home, and depending on Crystal Palace, if Crystal Palace manage to hold on to City, Arsenal might win the Premier League versus Burnley if they manage to win. Yeah, then City will play Bournemouth away, and then Villa at home, while we will play Palace away in our final home game of the season. So the English Premier League season is coming to a close, and what huge drama. But we were all saying this from the start. We needed to beat West Ham because that was the game. Pundits, fans, everyone was looking at West Ham and saying, these guys are fighting for their lives. You have to beat them. If you do not beat West Ham, forget the Premier League title. And it was a huge game. But I would like to give shout out to VAR. They made the correct decision. The keeper was actually fouled, and now this has set a precedent that keepers should be protected more, and this will be debated for years to come. And on top of this as well, we have a final that is impending versus PSG. So this is going to turn out to be one of the biggest seasons if Arsenal manage to win their remaining 3 games. We had 4 games to be declared champions of England and Europe, and to only become the third team after Manchester United and Manchester City to win the Premier League and the Champions League in the same season. So big up to those players. I want to congratulate every player that played. Raya, that defense, another clean sheet. Raya has already won the Golden Glove. And there was a moment in that game, Raya had to make a crucial save versus Mateus Fernandes of West Ham. Mateus Fernandes was one-on-one with David Raya and he missed. And if you look at all the Premier League champions, there was always that one moment where you said, this is the moment where we won it. You remember that save by Ortega Moreno versus Son. You remember that day Vincent Company hit a 30-yard screamer versus Leicester. You remember that day when John Stones cleared the ball off the line. Yeah. You remember that day when Eden Hazard scored that equalizer so that Leicester could win the Premier League. If you are a fan of the Premier League, any team that has become champion of England has had a day like that, whereby you needed something extra. And David Raya came up with the goods, and then Trossard. Imagine after not scoring for 25 games. And big up to Arteta for not substituting him off, because Saka usually stays on the pitch, then Trossard is removed and Martinelli comes on. But fair play to Mikel Arteta. If he manages to win this Premier League title after 6 years in charge, it will be one of the biggest achievements to top it off with the Champions League. But let's first focus on the Premier League as well. So we can see the huge, wild celebration from the Arsenal fans. And the last 10 minutes, I'm telling you, they were epic. Yeah, it was so dramatic. 1-0 to the Arsenal, like George Graham. Yeah, so our lead is 5 points at the top. Massive, massive. In 2 games to finally lift the Premier League. They have kept us away from the Premier League for 22 years. Now we can now go and win it if we beat Burnley and Crystal Palace. So Arteta was very, very happy with that, and the breakthrough came at the right time. And if you look at the facts, our goal was timed at 82 minutes, our latest opening goal in a 1-0 Premier League win since November 2023 against Brentford. Kai Havertz in the 89th minute. So West Ham United lost back-to-back Premier League games for the first time since suffering defeats in the first two of 2026. It ended a streak of 6 league games unbeaten at home, their joint longest run in the top flight at the London Stadium. We have won each of our last 3 Premier League games, the longest ongoing winning streak in the English Premier League. The only scoreline to come more frequently in the Premier League this season than us, winning 1-0, is Manchester City, winning 3-0. Trossard has scored more goals in his Premier League career against Liverpool and West Ham, today ending a run of 14 appearances without a league goal for the League Belgium. So you can see that this was time for magic, and this is what we have been asking for as fans. Who is going to step up when we crunch time, when we need a goal? And if you look at all the Premier League champions, they have had 1-0 wins, a tough 1-0 win at the end, right at the end of the game. Yeah, so this is not something that is new. Even Manchester City, that won 100 points, they need to win 1-0 versus Southampton in the last game so that they can win 100 points. The only team to win 100 points in the Premier League, Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. So winning 1-0 is a sign of champions. It is a sign of resilience. It is a sign that we are capable of going all the way and lifting this Premier League trophy. I believe. Do you believe? Rivals are now starting to believe. They're starting to be convinced this is gone. VAR will be talked about. It has made a lot of mistakes. Of course, it has been made. It is being done by human beings. But all we want to see is fair and correct decisions. So this is the Arsenal Pass. If you are new, subscribe, share, and like this video. All this week it will be party top of the league for another week. Let us see how Man City will do versus Crystal Palace. But I'm so excited for all the Gunners fans around the world. Let us support the team. We are on the verge of greatness. 2 games to win the Premier League and 1 Champions League final for first in 22 years. This season might end up being one of the best in Arsenal history since I even started watching Arsenal win play. I've never witnessed a season like this that is so close to greatness. So see you in the next one. Pick up and peace out to all the Gunners. Come on, you Gunners, subscribe, share, and like this video. See you in the next one. Kudos.